What if I told you the world's biggest fast food company isn't really in the food business? This is the untold story of how a milkshake machine salesman spotted a secret the founding brothers missed, turning their small burger stand into a billion-dollar real estate empire that changed the world. To discover more surprising stories that will improve your English, subscribe now and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We all know the name, don't we, McDonald's? We see the golden arches in cities all over the world. But have you ever stopped to wonder how it became a billion-dollar empire? Do you know the real story of how it all began? Do you know why McDonald's became the #1 fast food chain in the world? Well, stay with me because today we are going to explore the fascinating journey of McDonald's. We will learn how two brothers started it, how a man named Ray Kroc saw its future, and the powerful business strategies that made it what it is today. By the end of this story, you will not only know the history of McDonald's, but you will also learn some valuable lessons about business success and even life itself. So let's get comfortable and let's begin. Our story starts in the 1940s in the United States. It begins with two brothers, Richard McDonald, who people called Dick, and Maurice McDonald, who everyone knew as Mac. They were born in a small town in New Hampshire on the east coast of America. They came from a simple working-class family, and they dreamed of becoming successful. Like many young people at that time, they wanted to do something big, something that would make them wealthy and proud. They believed that California was the land of opportunity, a place where dreams could come true under the warm sun. So they packed everything they owned, said goodbye to the cold New Hampshire winters, and moved to San Bernardino, California. In 1940, the McDonald brothers opened their first restaurant. It was a small drive-in restaurant called McDonald's Bar BQ. It was very similar to other restaurants at that time. It had car hops waiters who would walk out to your car to take your order and bring you your food. The menu was large with many different items to choose from, but this also meant that the service was quite slow. After running the restaurant for a few years, the brothers started to notice something interesting. They watched their customers carefully. They looked at the orders, and they saw that most of their customers, day after day, ordered only 3 things: hamburgers, French fries, and milkshakes. All the other items on their big menu were not selling very much. So in 1948, they made a very brave decision. They closed their successful restaurant for 3 months. Yes, they shut it down completely. Their friends and other business owners must have thought they were crazy. Why close a business that is making money? They did it because they wanted to create something new, something fast, and something completely different. When they reopened their restaurant, they introduced a brand new system. They called it the Speedee Service System. It was a revolutionary way of making and serving food. The McDonald brothers created a kitchen that worked like a factory assembly line. This idea was inspired by Henry Ford, the man who changed how cars were made. In their kitchen, every worker had one specific job. One person only grilled the hamburger patties. Another person was responsible for assembling the burgers. A third person added the condiments like ketchup and mustard. And another person packed the food into a bag. It was a simple, focused process. Why was this so revolutionary? Well, it was incredibly fast. Instead of waiting 20 or 30 minutes for their food, customers now got their meal in under a minute. It felt like magic. They also changed their menu. They only sold the most popular items: burgers, fries, and milkshakes. A very limited menu made the service much faster. And finally, there were no more car hops. Customers had to get out of their cars and walk up to the counter to order their food. This small change reduced their costs and made the whole process more efficient. It was simple, it was fast, and it was a huge success. By 1952, the McDonald's restaurant was making $350,000 per year. That was a very large amount of money at that time. Their little restaurant became so popular that long lines of people would form outside every single day. Soon, other restaurant owners started visiting, trying to understand and copy their brilliant idea. And that is when the McDonald brothers realized they had created something truly special. Now here comes the most important person in our story. The man who would see the future of McDonald's and change it forever. His name was Ray Kroc. Who was Ray Kroc? He was born in 1902 in Illinois, in the middle of America. He was a natural salesman. He started his career selling paper cups. Later, he began selling milkshake machines. He would travel all over the country trying to sell his machines to restaurants and ice cream shops. One day in 1954, Ray Kroc noticed something unusual. A small single restaurant in San Bernardino, California, had placed an order for 8 of his milkshake machines. 8 machines, he must have thought to himself. This was very strange. No small restaurant needed that many machines. A big, busy restaurant in a major city might need 2 or 3. But 8 for one small place, Ray Kroc was very curious. He had to see this place for himself. So he got in his car and drove to San Bernardino to visit the restaurant. What he saw that day completely shocked him. He saw a long line of happy customers waiting outside the restaurant. He saw food coming out of the kitchen in just a few seconds. It was faster, more efficient, and more energetic than anything he had ever seen in his entire life. Ray Kroc immediately saw the future. He looked at the simple building, the happy families, and the fast service. And he realized that this was not just a restaurant. It was a business model. It was a system that could be copied and expanded all over the country. So he went to talk to the McDonald brothers. He asked them, "Have you ever thought about franchising this restaurant? Imagine hundreds of McDonald's restaurants just like this one all over America." But the McDonald brothers were not very interested in this idea. They were happy. They were successful running their one restaurant. It was their creation, and they liked having control over it. They didn't want the stress and the complications of managing a huge business. They didn't believe that their system could work on a large scale without problems. But Ray Kroc was not the kind of person who gives up easily. He was persistent. He saw the incredible potential, and he could not let it go. He kept talking to them, sharing his vision. He finally convinced them to let him handle the franchising. So in 1955, Ray Kroc opened the first franchised McDonald's in Des Plaines, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. And that single restaurant was the real beginning of McDonald's massive expansion across the globe. Ray Kroc saw a future that the brothers could not. He imagined hundreds, even thousands of McDonald's restaurants with their golden arches shining bright in every town across America. But there was one big problem. The McDonald brothers did not share his powerful vision. They were happy running their one successful restaurant. They were not interested in huge, rapid expansion. But Ray Kroc was a different kind of businessman. He believed in thinking big, taking risks, and moving fast. So he made a bold decision. He started franchising McDonald's restaurants on his own, with or without the full support of the brothers. This was a huge risk. Franchising meant that other people could open their own McDonald's restaurants, but they had to follow the exact same rules, use the same system, and maintain the same quality. In return for using the McDonald's name and system, they paid fees to Ray Kroc. At first, things were slow. It was hard work. But Ray Kroc was determined. He started looking for the right kind of franchise owners. He didn't just sell franchises to anyone with money. He looked for people who were like him, hardworking, ambitious, and hungry for success. And soon, his strategy started to work. New McDonald's restaurants started popping up in different towns and states. But even though Ray Kroc was expanding the brand, he had a very serious problem. At first, franchising was not making much money for him personally. Even though new McDonald's restaurants were opening and becoming successful, he was struggling financially. Why was this happening? Because he had signed a bad contract with the McDonald brothers. The agreement gave them most of the profits from the franchise fees. It was a deal that limited his own earnings. The McDonald brothers were still in control of the big decisions, and they did not want to change the contract. Ray Kroc became more and more frustrated. He felt trapped. He was working day and night, opening new restaurants, solving problems, and building the McDonald's brand. But he wasn't making enough money to truly grow the business the way he wanted. To make things worse, the McDonald brothers were very stubborn. They did not want to expand quickly. They refused to allow any major changes to the business or the menu. And that is when Ray Kroc realized he had to make the biggest and most difficult decision of his life. He couldn't continue like this. He wanted full control of McDonald's. He wanted to be the captain of the ship. So in 1961, he went to the McDonald brothers with an offer. He told them he wanted to buy the entire McDonald's company from them, the name, the system, everything. At first, the brothers refused. They did not want to sell their business, their family name. But Ray Kroc was persistent. After months of difficult negotiations, he finally convinced them. They agreed to sell McDonald's to him for $2.7 million. At that time, this was a huge amount of money. The deal made the McDonald brothers very rich, and they were happy to retire. But they made a huge mistake. They had no idea how big, how incredibly successful McDonald's would become. Because after buying the company, Ray Kroc finally had the freedom he needed. He changed everything and started to build an empire that would soon be worth billions of dollars. Now that Ray Kroc had full control, he made two powerful changes that turned McDonald's into a global giant. The first change was a secret weapon that most people never knew about. He realized that McDonald's was not just a fast food business. It was also a real estate business. Instead of just selling franchises, Ray Kroc's company started to buy the land where new McDonald's restaurants would be built. Then he would rent the land to the franchise owners. This meant that every single time a new McDonald's restaurant opened, Ray Kroc made money from rent. It was a steady, reliable income. Even if a particular restaurant struggled to sell burgers, he still owned the valuable land underneath it. Over time, McDonald's became one of the biggest landowners in the world. This strategy was absolutely brilliant. Most fast food chains just sold food. But McDonald's was making money from two sources, food and real estate. This is a big reason why McDonald's makes so much more money from rent than it does from selling burgers today. The second big change was in marketing and branding. Ray Kroc knew that to make McDonald's a global brand, he needed powerful and memorable marketing. So he created the famous McDonald's logo, the golden arches, that are now recognized all over the world. He launched huge advertising campaigns on television and in newspapers to make McDonald's a household name. He also introduced Ronald McDonald, the friendly clown mascot that made McDonald's popular with children. He focused on families, making McDonald's a fun and welcoming place for parents to bring their kids. This strategy worked perfectly. Families started choosing McDonald's over its competitors, and sales skyrocketed. By the 1970s, McDonald's was unstoppable. It began to expand to international markets. In 1967, it opened in Canada and Puerto Rico. In 1971, you could find McDonald's in Japan, Germany, and Australia. In 1974, it arrived in France and the United Kingdom. But Ray Kroc was still not satisfied. He wanted McDonald's to be everywhere. And to achieve that, he knew the restaurants had to be affordable fast and suitable for every culture. So Ray Kroc and his team developed new strategies that made McDonald's the most successful fast food brand in history. Let's break down these game-changing strategies that turned McDonald's into a global empire. One of the biggest reasons for McDonald's success is its affordability. When McDonald's started, most restaurants were expensive. People usually only ate out on special occasions, like a birthday. But McDonald's changed that. Ray Kroc believed that everyone, rich or poor, should be able to enjoy a delicious meal out. So McDonald's created a system that cut costs but kept the quality high. They used mass production buying ingredients in huge quantities, which reduced the price. Their efficient cooking system, the Speedee System, allowed them to serve food quickly with fewer workers. And the limited menu reduced waste and cooking time. All of this made McDonald's so affordable that an ordinary working-class family could eat there regularly. This is why McDonald's became the first choice for millions of families around the world. One of the smartest ideas in McDonald's history was the Happy Meal. In the late 1970s, the company realized that children have a huge influence on where a family decides to eat. If the kids loved McDonald's, the parents would bring them back again and again. So in 1979, McDonald's introduced the Happy Meal. It was a special meal designed just for children. It usually included a small burger or chicken nuggets, a small fries, and a drink. But most importantly, it came with a free toy. This was a brilliant strategy. Children loved collecting the toys, and they would beg their parents to take them to McDonald's. The Happy Meal became a massive success, making McDonald's the #1 choice for family dining. The impact was huge. Today, McDonald's sells over 1 billion Happy Meals every single year. McDonald's also understood that in our busy world, people do not like to wait for their food. People want fast service. So in 1975, McDonald's introduced the Drive-Thru system. This allowed customers to order and receive their food without ever leaving their car. Imagine this: you are driving home from a long day at work. You're hungry, but you don't have time to cook. Instead of stopping at a restaurant, finding parking, and waiting for a table, you simply drive into a McDonald's. You place your order into a speaker, and within minutes, you have your food. This convenience revolutionized the fast food industry. McDonald's became the best choice for people who wanted quick, tasty, and affordable food on the go. Today, a huge portion of McDonald's sales comes from drive-thru orders. Ray Kroc also knew that if he wanted to build a global brand, his restaurants needed to have strict standards for cleanliness and hygiene. At that time, many small restaurants struggled with cleanliness. But McDonald's made it a top priority. Every McDonald's restaurant had to follow the same strict rules. Workers had to wash their hands regularly. The kitchen had to be cleaned multiple times a day. Every restaurant had to look spotless from the floors to the tables. This built a deep sense of trust with customers. People knew that no matter which McDonald's they visited in any city or country, they would get clean and hygienic food. In a world where health and cleanliness matter, McDonald's became a name people could trust. Finally, one of the biggest reasons McDonald's became so successful worldwide is that it learned to adapt to different cultures. Instead of forcing American food on other countries, McDonald's cleverly changed its menu to fit local tastes. For example, in India, where many people do not eat beef for religious reasons, McDonald's introduced the Aloo Tikki burger, which is a popular burger made from potatoes and peas. In Japan, McDonald's offers a teriyaki burger with a sweet Japanese-style sauce. In China, you can find spicy chicken wings, which are very popular in Chinese cuisine. And in the Middle East, McDonald's serves halal-certified meat to respect Islamic dietary laws. This strategy was brilliant. Instead of being seen as just an American brand, McDonald's, became a local brand in every country it entered. Because of this smart adaptation, McDonald's is successful in more than 100 countries today. So McDonald's doesn't just make money from food. It makes money from three powerful sources. First, from food sales in its millions of restaurants. Second, from real estate by earning rent from its franchise owners. And third, from franchise fees where every franchise owner pays a percentage of their earnings back to the main company. This is why McDonald's earns billions of dollars every year. It is not just a fast food company. It is a real estate and business empire. Before McDonald's, people mostly ate at home or in slow, expensive restaurants. Eating out was a special treat. But McDonald's changed everything. It made fast food a normal part of life. It made eating out affordable for everyone. Families, workers, and students could all enjoy a meal in just a few minutes. McDonald's did not just sell food. It changed the way the world thinks about food. It created a fast, affordable, and family-friendly dining culture. And today, it continues to innovate and grow. Even after becoming the biggest fast food brand in the world, McDonald's never stopped improving. It knew that staying number one is often harder than becoming number one. So McDonald's made some brilliant moves to stay ahead of the competition. It was constantly innovating its menu. Even though burgers and fries made McDonald's famous, it kept adding new items to attract more customers. Some of its most successful additions include the Big Mac. In 1968, a larger burger for people with bigger appetites. The Filet-O-Fish was introduced in 1962 for Catholic customers who did not eat meat on Fridays. Chicken McNuggets, introduced in 1983, became a huge success and one of the most popular items ever. And McCafe Coffee, launched in 2009, allowed McDonald's to compete with coffee shops like Starbucks by offering premium coffee at affordable prices. McDonald's also learned how to adapt to any crisis. No company grows without facing challenges. McDonald's faced many problems over the years. In the 1990s and 2000s, people became more concerned about health and obesity. During economic recessions, people spent less money on eating out. But McDonald's always found a way to survive and grow. It introduced healthier options like salads and fruit. It offered discount meals during difficult economic times. And it used smart marketing to remind people why they loved the brand. McDonald's learned that instead of fighting change, it was better to embrace it. And even today, after decades of success, McDonald's is still changing. It is using new technology like artificial intelligence, or AI, and automation to make ordering faster and easier. Some restaurants now have self-order kiosks, so customers don't have to wait in line. They are testing AI-powered drive-thrus, where a voice assistant takes your order. Some locations are even testing robots that can cook burgers and fries. The company is also still expanding into more countries and is focusing on providing healthier and more sustainable food with more plant-based options and better packaging. The McDonald's story is more than just a business story. It's a lesson in vision, persistence, and innovation. It teaches us to think big. The McDonald brothers had a small good idea, but Ray Kroc saw a global opportunity. It shows us the power of being consistent. McDonald's succeeded because it delivered the same great experience everywhere, and it teaches us that we must adapt to change. Instead of fighting problems, McDonald's found smart solutions. Today, McDonald's serves around 69 million customers every single day. It has over 40,000 restaurants worldwide and earns over $23 billion per year. It is not just a fast food chain. It is a global business empire. The story of McDonald's is a story of vision, innovation, and a relentless desire to succeed. And most importantly, It is proof that anything is possible with the right mindset. As McDonald's continued to grow into a global empire, Ray Kroc became one of the most influential businessmen in history. However, his journey didn't end with just success. His later years were filled with challenges, lessons, and an unforgettable legacy. By the 1970s, McDonald's was already a multi-billion-dollar company. But Ray Kroc was not the kind of person who liked to sit back and relax. Even after he stepped down as CEO, he remained deeply involved in the business. He was always looking for ways to improve and expand. However, his incredible success came at a personal cost. Ray Kroc struggled with health issues, some of which were due to heavy drinking. But despite his health problems, his passion for business never faded. In 1974, at the age of 72, he took on a new challenge. He bought a struggling baseball team, the San Diego Padres. His goal was to turn it into a championship-winning team, just like he had transformed McDonald's. But age and his health problems began to catch up with him. Over time, his health worsened, and by the early 1980s, he was no longer able to manage his business affairs. On January 14, 1984, at the age of 81, Ray Kroc passed away due to heart failure. Even though Ray Kroc was gone, his vision lived on. By the time of his death, McDonald's had over 7,500 restaurants in 31 countries. And that was just the beginning. Today, it is the largest fast food chain in the world, feeding millions of people every day, proving that one man's big dream can truly change the world. Ray Kroc's life teaches us some powerful lessons. Success doesn't always come when you are young. He was 52 years old when he found his big opportunity with McDonald's. He teaches us to never stop improving and to think bigger than everyone else. Ray Kroc may be gone, but every time someone orders a burger from McDonald's, they are a small part of his incredible journey. His life proves that with vision, hard work, and determination, anything is possible. And that is the story of how one man changed the way the world eats forever. From a small burger stand to the biggest fast food empire in the world, McDonald's has proven that great things can come from small beginnings. It is a story of power, vision, and never giving up. And it is a story that I hope will continue to inspire generations to come. If you found this story inspiring today, I hope you'll share it with your friends and family. Let them learn how a small idea can turn into something legendary. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to sharing another story with you very soon.